Hi everybody. Today we're going to talk about some recent Pokemon pricing and investing, and also Magic the Gathering versus Pokemon. And I had a minor date error on that first video I did when I was talking about Pokemon and Magic, which is a better investment, and doing some comparisons. So I'm gonna go over that. It was just a different year versus what it should be. So anyway, let's start with black and white. Black and white's been going up pretty good. And so as you can see here, black and white is very consistent. $900 to $1,900 is the prices that I've been noticing for black and white. And this is just like yesterday. And it keeps going up. But I decided to let you know it's pretty consistent. So basically, if you own a box of black and white, you're looking at a sealed booster box. You're looking at $1,000 to $2,000 depending on which one it is. Obviously, there's preferences of what people like better, but that's pretty consistent. And then X and Y. X and Y is sort of all over the place. It is some big swings. I mean, seriously, it is a long 3-year set, of course. But like $100 to $1,900, and the big one is Flash Fire. That just keeps going up. As you can see, there's 3 movers: Flash Fire, Furious Fists, and Breakpoint. I recently bought like 4 more boxes of Breakpoint, and it just keeps going up. When somebody buys it for $380, it's going to be $600-700. So that's good news. And Sun and Moon. Let's see, what do I get for Sun and Moon? 3 movers, Ultra Prism, of course, and then Team Up and Unbroken Bonds have both moved up. So Sun and Moon has 3 movers. Now, like I said earlier, one of the things I was going to go over was the Magic the Gathering versus Pokemon. And depending on what stuff I got into Magic. I was actually at the Gen Con convention, and I was, back then we were people were still thinking about D&D as the greatest thing in the world. And so when Magic came out, I'm like, whatever, it's a card game. Who's going to want to play that? I'm watching people run by my booth to go buy Magic the Gathering, and I could have bought Alpha for super cheap back then, but I just ignored it. Oh, it's not gonna last. Well, it did. Ended up starting playing when Revised came out, and I actually bought a box of Beta, and bought a whole box. This is the empty box of Beta, and I bought it, and this empty box is worth hundreds of dollars, even being empty. That's another thing I was going to tell you about, Pokemon empty boxes. I got a couple in the basement. They're empty, like some Neo Genesis and maybe Call of Legends, something like that. They're, like an Emerald box. I see people charging $800 to $1,500 for an empty box of Emerald. But anyway, back to Magic. So the boxes. Anyway, the boxes are worth something. So keep your boxes. People, will actually buy used boxes that are empty. But anyway, like this Beta box, I've got some Beta cards, and Beta Magic does fall into the doubling effect every couple years or more. If you had a box of Beta, it's definitely gonna shoot up. Or if you had a box of Unlimited or Alpha, but the trouble is there wasn't that many of those boxes. Everybody opened them, so they're super rare. Like on eBay right now, I did some checking for some of the early Magic, and you can't even find these first 4 here. They don't even exist. And Revised is $6,000, Antiquities $30,000, Legends $17,000. So some of that stuff does fall into the really good investments that are the same as Pokemon. Pokemon still wins in my opinion, but there are some investments in the Magic that are pretty darn good. But not all Magic is that way. I mean, think of Fallen Empires and Homelands. Those sucked. And those are still really cheap. So this is a box of Antiquities, an empty box that I have. And the thing about antiquities is, yeah, you know, they want $30,000 for a box of this. But like I've watched YouTubers open a box of cards and get one workshop out of a whole box of 60 packs. I mean, it's like the one card out of 60 packs. So you're better off buying the workshop, like in super mint condition, for, you know, $3,000, $4,000 instead of buying a $30,000, you know, box. Of course, you're going to get some other cards too, but they're nowhere near what that card is going to be worth. So you're actually losing a lot if you would open one of these antiquity boxes. And you don't want to buy single packs because they're just too easy to search. I found that out when I bought some Arabian Night packs at a store one time. Everybody opened the packs and nobody got anything. It was like half of a box. Some shady people from New York, you know, just were scamming people, like selling junk packs. It was back before the internet was really like a thing, you know. So anyway, so I was going to tell you about that error. Urza Saga, which is right here, I had the date wrong, okay? Urza Saga comes out actually not when Gym Heroes comes out right here, and when it was actually produced. So like here's something you could look at. You could pause it there if you want to look at it. That's when the sets came out, basically pretty close. Like Gym Challenge came out right around when Invasion came out. So I don't know, when I looked up Urza's Saga on my first video, somehow there was some date on whatever site I went to for, you know, Magic's lists of when they came out. I got the date wrong. So anyway, according to this, Gym Challenge, which I just looked this up, this is the low price on eBay, $10,000. Somebody else is selling one for $15,000. Gym Challenge, right? This came out the same time that these three boxes here came out. Right here, I'll get them closer. Well, actually, Invasion, not all three. But anyway, you get the point. Look, $400. Multiple people are selling Invasion for $400, okay? Versus what? Gym Challenge, $15,000? Or $10,000, the low one. So anyway, the correct comparison is Gym Challenge to Invasion, and these sets were right around there. Urza Saga came out like even before Pokemon Base came out. So I just want to clarify that. So it's even more of a striking difference in price when you compare Pokemon to Magic. Also, I was going to tell you, sometimes the, like for Magic, for instance, some of the stuff that is foreign made is actually worth more than the English made. Because viewer asked me, like, you know, what do you think of, you know, the different languages? And I usually base the different languages on half price. Like, here is Italian Legends, Italian. Here's an empty box of regular Legends. So this box here would be half the price of this one if it was sealed. That's how I figure things. That's what I would figure their worth would be. But on the other hand, like this is a 4th edition. I think this is Chinese or Japanese or Korean. I don't think it's Korean. I think this might be Japanese. Anyway, this is actually worth more than a 4th edition box. Why? Because this is black border. You know, so there are some differences. You can't just go by, oh, all foreign language is worth half of what English is, because this is worth double or more of what English is, maybe even triple, because it has black border cards in it, where the English version is white. If you play Magic, you know, black border is the way to go if you can afford it. Anyway, I think that's pretty much covers it. So I just want to do this update, some pricing, and fix this mistake on the date for the Gym Challenge versus the Invasion box. So like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.